So many times we think like be the train means like saying yes to all the opportunities or create, but I actually think that being the train sometimes is actually saying no.
Absolutely.
Then you almost like open other doors.
I had one foot out the door.
Yeah.
And suddenly doors were opening somewhere else. But because I was often offered these smaller roles, I was reading through the script looking for this tiny role that he was offering me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it. So I was like, well, I read the script, it's great. And then he's like, can you play? And it was like the lead. You just have to become almost better than everyone else. You just have to really train. Longevity is key. Like being able to stay in this business.
Whoever thinks something's cringe is someone who's having a hard time with someone else putting themselves out there. Hello and welcome back to the Be the Train podcast. I am super excited about our guest today. She is a TV actor, movie actor. She is a figure skater, which I love, and she has a vintage shop. She's also a screenwriter and an all-around creative entrepreneur and artist. And I'm really excited to be chatting with her today, Brandee Steger. And she'll tell you a little bit more about herself, and then we'll delve in.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much like, thank you for having me. That's pretty much like the gist of it all. Yes, I'm an actress, I'm a screenwriter, a figure skater. I've been training as a figure skater since I was a kid. Stopped, went back to it when I realized that was sort of like my superpower. And yes, I owned a vintage store.
I love that. Where's your vintage store?
Well, it was online mostly, and I was in Silver Lake for a little while, but then it was mostly, very successful online.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is anything you're wearing vintage?
Oh, yeah, probably everything I'm wearing.
Oh, cool, because you have very cool style.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I love fashion.
Yay. What does be the train mean to you when you hear that?
What does it mean to me?
Yeah.
I would say you gotta be your own boss. Be the person who makes the decisions for yourself. Because I think I'll speak of entertainment industry. It's an industry where people love to make decisions for you. They love to put you in a box. And I think it's, about being your own train, being your own boss, making your own decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
For yourself.
And so I'm curious, in your career, and obviously you've done a lot, what have you had moments like this where you felt like things are out of your control, and so you're going to take them back and you're going to kind of create your own opportunities, and what have those looked like?
Yeah, I mean, many times things have been out of my control. I think, obviously, like being a Black woman in the entertainment industry, people really want to set a tone for you. Yeah. I can think of, I remember a friend of mine, I was doing a lot of Friends projects at one point. It was right before I was thinking of quitting acting. Yeah. And a friend of mine was like, can you play the bus driver in my film?
Yeah.
And to me, that was like, it's like a stereotype of what you can play in my film. And I got sort of sick of that.
Yeah.
And I said no for the first time to a friend. And right after that, I started to get all of these opportunities, and I got like a leading lady role in a film.
Yeah.
And I just sort of like became my own thing.
I think it's interesting that you say that, because I think so many times we think like be the train means like saying yes to all the opportunities or create, but I actually think that being the train sometimes is actually saying no to the right, like, because when you say no to something and you kind of step up in what that means for you, or like why you're not going to make time for something, then you almost like open other doors for things that you're going to make time for that maybe align more with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's so important. I think there was a while where I wasn't maybe aware of that.
Yeah.
But really sort of like telling the universe like what I want to do, it really makes a difference. And yes, saying no is very important.
I love that you said casually this moment where I was going to quit acting. I think everyone has had multiple of these moments. Anyone in any creative industry. What did it look like for you? How did you decide you were done? And then how did you decide you weren't anymore.
Yeah, tricky, right? It's funny. I had such a rare situation where my husband was very successful, right?
Okay.
He was a series regular on a TV show.
Oh,
Opportunities
okay.
were coming like crazy.
Amazing.
And we also grew up together.
Oh, wow.
So at that time, there were so many comments of like, well, only one actor can make it, kind of thing. Only one of you is going to make it. There was a lot of that, right? And there was a lot because he was so successful. I mean, I remember very successful producers saying things to me like, you're just a character actress. Like, you're never gonna, basically work. Your husband's gonna work.
Oh, God.
So, hate
that person.
I mean, that was happening a lot. And remember, this is pre, like, I want to say, like, my type, right? Like, Issa Rae. This is pre, like, Issa Rae getting leads. And, so... It was
I worked with her, by the way. She's amazing.
I bet.
She's
amazing.
I
mean, I feel like she opened so many doors.
Yes,
right?
100%.
For brown girls, black girls, right? So for me, it was like I kept getting those comments and I kept thinking, that's not true. But then after a while, when I wasn't getting jobs and opportunities, it was like, well, maybe that's true. It's time for me to focus on something else. Yeah. So I had opened my vintage store. It was doing well. And I just was like, it's over. I'm done. Oh, I had my second baby.
Yeah.
And that was all.
We'll talk about that in a second.
You have your second child. It's like, it's time to grow up. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
And then next thing I knew, it was like that year I had my second baby, I started getting opportunities like crazy.
Wow.
I had one foot out the door.
Yeah.
And suddenly doors were opening somewhere else.
Interesting.
So it wasn't like I did anything. It was like something happened.
Okay.
Like a portal opened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, sometimes they say the universe, when you're really ready to make a life-changing decision.
Yeah.
Apparently, sometimes the universe will put something in front of you to be like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Are you really going to say no?
Totally.
Because here's this new opportunity that you could do. If you're really saying no, you got to say no.
I know.
And then it's like, okay, and then you have to make that decision.
Yes. And I remember a friend sent me a script. He's a great director. Like, my husband had worked with him previously. He's worked with so many actors, and he's like, hey, I'd love if you would play this role in this script. And he didn't really specify what the role was, but because I was often offered these smaller roles, I was reading through the script looking for this tiny role that he was offering me. Yeah. And I couldn't find it. So I was like, well, I read the script, it's great. And then he's like, can you play? And it was like the lead. Oh. And that was like, I think my baby was only 6 months old. Oh. And that was, it might have been younger, might have been 3 months. But that was sort of a big turn for me.
When did you end up shooting the film?
We shot it over like a 2-year span of time. I mean, it was an indie. It was like we went to Alabama.
Oh, wow.
He was really like, it was a slow process. So it's just now probably going in festivals. It's just
great.
now sort of finding
What's it
its
called?
way. We went to DC in January.
Oh, cool.
And it opened for the DC Film Festival.
Oh, great. What's it called?
God is an Astronaut.
Okay.
Based off of a book from Oprah's book selection.
Oh, cool.
Michael, my husband, plays opposite me.
What? I love that.
Pretty cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Have you guys done that before?
We had never done that before. I think it was like,
wow.
People had never put us together. It's funny, like in life we're together, but because my husband is half British, half Ecuadorian, I'm obviously black. Like, I don't think people were putting us as a couple. And this director was obviously creative and saw things, and
And was it was fun?
It was really fun. We had so much fun. It was crazy with kids.
Yeah. So how did you guys do that? We have the same situation because we work together. So how did you guys do that with kids? How did, you had a family member come or
because we're from pretty much Los Angeles. We had mostly Michael's mom, my mother-in-law, was very helpful and came in and
amazing.
It was a lot of just like begging people to watch the kids and us juggling. And I was on set one day, he wasn't, maybe because a lot of times we weren't necessarily working together even though we were playing a couple. So just juggling.
So So how does that work? That's really interesting, I think, that you guys are both actors. Me and my husband work together as well. But I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm an actor. He's a director, he's a writer. And so we end up doing a lot of things together, but we also have a lot of separation in terms of what the role is. But even so, it's very complicated because on one hand, it's really fun because we get to share this like whole other part of our life, which is our creative life together. And then on the other hand, it's like, you know, he's my business partner and there's stuff where we don't always agree. And so I'm curious, like, how does it play out to have two people who are actors? Like, how do you guys, like, how do you even decide, like, let's say you both get a role at the same time, or like, have you guys set any like rules, or how does it work with kids? Like, I'm just curious for anyone else out there who's also an actor dating another actor.
I think early on, you know, you just have to decide you're a team. Yeah. Right? I mean, we're a team. Yeah. That's it, full stop. Like, yeah. When you do something, I'm doing something kind of thing. So yeah. I'm helping you, you're helping me. That's the thing. Luckily, we haven't really, besides working on that film together, it hasn't been where we're working at the same time, which is crazy. Yeah. Because there's been the last 2 years where my husband's on a show right now called The Chosen. I don't know if you heard of it. Yeah. And he's had to fly to Texas and I then was working, I was guest starring on something. Yeah. And it was just like crazy. But we would have these like times where, like, I recently worked on a film. It was like we had a week. Yeah. And luckily it didn't cross over. Yeah. So not yet, which, you know, obviously I don't know what 2026 looks like. But we haven't, like, it's like crazy that we have not worked at the same time. Yeah. At this point. So that's been great. But yeah, I mean, we would just work it out, right? We just, like I said, we're a team and we would make it work and bring in the people we need to bring in and to help us and make it happen. We're always just making it happen. Well,
and I think also obviously having a family and a support system in any way is so helpful. Absolutely. Especially with kids. So how do you feel, because I get this question a lot, like, how do you feel like you balance working and having kids? And I mean, it's kind of like incredible that you both are in this creative industry. Yeah. And then you also have kids. So is there any kind of like schedule or any kind of habits that you've set up for yourself to help you kind of keep going and also have like times off, or, you know?
At this point, there's not a lot of time off. It's a lot. I mean, it's just not. There's no, any vacation, any time off is with the kids, right? Yeah. It just is that way because I think, you know, we just want to be there for our kids. Yeah. You know, we have a 9-year-old, we have a 5-year-old. It's just very important for both of us to be there. Yeah. So we just, it's like I have mornings until pretty much they're out of school. Yeah. And then this chunk of time with them. And they are all priority. And then they go to bed and it's work, work, work. Yeah. So it's just about, you know, I mean, for us, the decision was we just want to be there for the kids. They're in this critical time in their life. Yeah. And we want to make sure they know they have this childhood where their parents are around. Yeah. Until, I mean, it's like buzzing that something's going to come up, right? Something's going to come up and one of us may not be around as much because of work. Yeah. So it's just right now it's all about being there.
And so like for auditions and stuff like that, you do it while they're in school.
While they sleep usually. Yeah. After bedtime, which is so tricky. But oh my God. Late night, we just make that happen at night. I mean, I actually I feel like not many actors are grateful for self-tape. I'm very grateful.
Oh, same. It's a life changer as a mom. Great. It's a life changer. As a mom, it's like, it's impossible. I remember when I first started, over 15 years ago, that it was like you would be in the car for like an hour and then you would arrive somewhere and then you would wait for like another hour and then you would get like 2 minutes in the room and then it was another hour to get home. It was like a 3 to 4 hour process for 2 minutes.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
As a mom, I don't know how I would have been able to do it at all. Like it would have just
sometimes changing.
I would have been like completely off the table because it's like you can't. Yeah, and then they change your hour. They change
another thing.
Yeah, they change the location. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. So this does make it a lot easier, but obviously it makes it more competitive too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But, you know, I just feel like having control over it. I just feel like I have so much more control. I do love that. Yeah. I mean, I think that's another bonus of having an actor husband, right? Yeah. It's like we can sit there and like
help each other out.
Yeah. I mean, we're both actor studio kids. We will sit there and analyze something to death.
Yes.
And work it out and make it happen. Yeah. So
That's a very fun kind of thing to be able to share, you know, just to like break down the script together. Absolutely. And be like, was that take good? And what do you think? And give me your notes and
be the theater geeks that we are. We are theater geeks.
Have either of you ever directed or want to direct?
We directed a web series together.
Oh, cool.
We directed my one-woman show.
Cool.
Together with another friend who joined us. It was like a 3-person thing.
Wow.
And then we directed a web series, which was pretty successful, together. I mean,
fun.
Look, there's arguing. You know, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, you know, it's great. My husband and I. That's tricky.
It's tricky.
There's some fighting. There's some arguing.
Yes.
It's like you're relearning each other. There's good in that too.
100%.
Like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm going to have to work with that.
Yeah.
And you just make it happen.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, it's interesting because it's like, I feel like in a way, I know so many other parts of my husband that maybe I wouldn't know if we didn't get to work together.
Yeah.
But then I know all these other parts of my husband that I wouldn't get to know if we didn't. No, I'm joking. No, there's the pros and the cons, right? Because it's like, it's funny too, like me and my husband have something where like, we talk about this a lot, but it's like sometimes we have a hard time saying the like kinder version because we're so comfortable with each other that it's kind of like everything gets stripped to like just like, oh, I don't like that. But, you know, because we just don't have like a certain filter that you would have with someone who like you just met or like who you would be like, oh, love your thoughts on this, but could be cool if we moved it to this, you know, there's like all this like, and then like you kind of strip away from all of that and you're just like, no. You know, it's like, what? That was mean.
Oh yeah, no, it can get ugly. I mean, I remember, you know, there's points where you're like, shut up.
Yeah,
like because they know you so well
because you're comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's your person, and that you just.
Yeah, totally. So tell me a little bit about how you met your husband.
Oh, I met my husband when I was 12 years old. Junior high, you know, first day of junior high, we did not get along. We are not childhood sweethearts. You know, I think people have tried to say that. No, we weren't really friends until we got into high school.
Okay.
Because we grew up, I don't want to say small town, but kind of small, you know. Inland Empire was a small city. Everybody kind of knew each other, and we coincidentally ended up in college together, and then after college we started dating.
So how did your husband kind of get his big break, and then how did that affect, like, were you guys on the same trajectory together, or was it like he like you guys were always acting together and then he just got one thing and then or like how did that work in terms of
being from here, right? We both were auditioning at 12 years old. I mean, that was sort of like California lifestyle. We've been acting
12 years old.
Very young.
Wow. Yeah. Sorry, 12 years old. Wow, that's very young. So you guys were like child actors.
He was more successful.
Okay.
I was a child auditioner. My husband was a child actor. Yes,
okay.
He worked.
Okay.
He had opportunities, and I was not, you know, I didn't do well at all as a child. But I've been auditioning since I was a kid. Yeah. So it was our world, right? Yeah. We knew that. It was our language. We took different directions. He studied theater in college. When I was studying journalism, I call myself sort of like a studio actor because I've studied in so many studios. Yeah. And that's where I kind of grew. And he grew studying theater. So we kind of merged those things together. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I ended up doing theater. I ended up like working in London. I ended up like doing shows as well. So we both kind of found it. Yeah. But took different directions and then came together. Yeah, and I think we learned from each other with that. It's like our kids' school, they were talking about recently, like coming to teach Shakespeare to the kids. Yeah. And we both are so into Shakespeare. I mean, you know, we learned it differently, like, in different ways. But like I keep saying, like we came together and just merged our training. And then both ended up at the Actors Studio where we both became members.
So did you guys start dating in high school?
No, after college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I used to go on his dates, and we were always friends.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it just happened.
And so what would you say if, you know, for other people who are creative entrepreneurs or artists, like what are some habits you think have really helped you kind of sustain? Because I think like so much of what's hard about this industry is that a lot of it is out of your control, we said. Yeah. And so like what are things that are in your control? Like, what are things that you do? I don't know if it's every day or weekly, but just habits that you've built up that just keep you going.
Yeah, I mean, studying is, I will grab, if I'm not feeling it or feeling, I will just study. I'm a huge studier. I'll read plays. I read different methods, different techniques. I'll just grab a new acting book. I'm really into that, right? I'm really sort of dorky in that way. And I just really believe in training yourself, like almost overtraining yourself. And I remember a teacher had said that to me early on. And she was like, you just have to become almost better than everyone else. You just have to really train. And I thought that was such a crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways she was right. And I am that person who will rehearse and study a monologue and just perform it, right? Like at home. Like, yeah. I'm like, let's just put this monologue on tape. Like, that's just sort of what I do to keep myself going.
So you mean like, so if let's say, for example, work's not coming in that particular moment, you'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to learn a monologue for myself.
Yeah.
Got it.
I will learn a monologue.
Okay, but that's good.
Ask my husband to do a scene with me.
But that's good advice. I think that's good advice because I think the biggest problem or the hardest part about a creative life is the interim. Absolutely. The in-betweens where you're not doing something. Yeah. Because especially we have so much like worth tied to the doing.
Absolutely.
And there's so much like pride in the work. Yeah. But the work isn't every day.
No.
And so that's really hard because then when you're in the not work part, which everyone goes through, it's almost like, who am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
What was this life I chose? Absolutely. I have no idea when the next like work is showing up.
Yeah.
So I think that's really smart to have like self-proposed projects so that you're constantly like sharpening your tools.
Yes.
Whether a job is there or not, you're still working on something.
Yes, always working on something. I mean, we will pop into the actor's studio, we'll work on scenes. It's crazy because we'll work on those scenes and then not have time to go do it.
Yeah.
We're prepared. And then one of us will get a job or something. So we can't, I mean, I'm also a writer, right? So I will sit there and work on scripts or like...
So let me ask you about that because so do you write stuff for yourself or do you write like in what capacity? Like have you written a role for yourself that you've done or what kind of?
Still producing, still working on getting it out there. I recently signed started working with a literary manager. So I'm,
cool.
It's mostly for me. Yeah. But at this point, I would just sell that script. I mean.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a copy of my book. Okay. Actually, because this book is so much of what it is actually like when you are a multi-hyphenate who does have the capacity to write for yourself. Yeah. And I think that's so much of what we do, all of us. It's our nature is like we're waiting for the best, biggest deal to come along. So we write something for ourselves and we're like, well, and then at some point, I have so many scripts where I'm like, well, at some point I'll just give up and I'll just sell it or if someone wants to buy it what this book is really about is how do I actually write something for myself that I could produce without anyone? Without anyone giving me any money. Yes. And what do I have access to for free? And how do I write from that place so that I'm actually just living my dream of being this dream role that I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Of course. Yeah. Yes. And I've done it, right? I've produced my own projects. Yeah. I've done my own.
The series,
And even now I'm working on something where, I will self-produce it, know? But it just gets exhausting a little bit.
Right? I agree with that.
You just get exhausted, but I've done it, right? I did a short film with Ted Danson. And I wrote it. And
amazing.
But I'm just getting, I think, the train gets slowed. And it's you want, someone said to me, oh, blah, blah, blah could play this role. And I'm like, great. They can play that role, But yes.
No, I get that.
I go back and forth. I do have moments of right now we're producing something where I'm like, I will do this. This is going to be amazing. I'm in it. And then I have those moments of okay, sell the script.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I think we all have those moments. I think it's obviously a lot easier to do things with more help, with more money, with more, obviously. But then I also think sometimes, and I guess it depends also, how much you've been able to do.
Yes.
Sometimes it's nice to just be like, I'm taking this into my own hands and I'm making it happen.
For sure.
No matter what. Because sometimes there's so much that you can't,
Yeah. I mean, I think what nobody tells you about this business is, even as just an actor, it's a money game as well.
Yeah, it is.
You don't realize how many people have the money to keep the longevity.
Yes.
Right? And
that's true.
Sort of like a hidden secret, I think.
I agree with that. I do think that's true because longevity is actually really key.
Longevity is key.
Yeah.
Like being able to stay in this business and even like, if I was a rational human being, I should have quit, right? A long time ago. But because my husband got on a show, and had some success, we were able to, as a team, use that.
Keep going.
To keep me in the game sort of thing, right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And that's like, if I hadn't have had that sort of support, I don't know, where I would.
Yeah. No, it's true. I agree with that. I do think that there is, it's interesting too, because I think a lot of people obviously take a lot of jobs at the same time, it's the only way to do it. But obviously there's less time to then, really focus on getting that monologue or doing that auto-produced project or all of those things. I can see that.
And then you see the people who have it. And they have, I don't know, money from family or money from, and they're able to like just hold out, because it took me a while to really get sort of the bigger roles, like the roles that really pay me. For a long time, it was like you work for nothing.
Yeah.
Like you're acting, but you have other jobs.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to just be an actor.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
That whole thing about staying in the game, I don't know, people don't always tell you, like, there's going to be people out here who are able to stay in the game because they have financial support.
They have support. How many years do you think it took to get to like the good roles? Just so people have like a sense.
I mean, for me, I don't want to list the people, but because I grew up in LA, I know many actors who did very well and are like stars right now, right?
Yeah.
And they did very well at 20. They hit, right?
Okay.
For me, it didn't happen until after my second child. Yeah. So I didn't get my big sort of guest star role until I was a lot older.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say, it's like, man, if I was rational, I shouldn't have stuck it out.
Yeah.
Because it took me so long.
But then again, it worked. And there's the thing is, like, what else are you, like, at the end of the day, it's your life and this is what you love to do. Yeah. And so if you're able to stick it out and do it, and then here it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it was worth it.
It was worth it. Yes. Now I can say it was worth it. Yeah.
I know.
But when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what were you thinking? I was in LA thinking I was a mix between Whoopi Goldberg and Julia Roberts, right?
Yeah.
I had all these ideas. I was this, and then the industry tells you something else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard. And so what would you say is like one piece of advice you would give to anyone who is starting out in their acting journey, who, really wants to succeed but doesn't know where to start, or any advice you would give, anything you wish someone would have told you that might have helped?
I mean, I just am a true believer in studying. I'm just a believer in knowing what you're doing. If you're really passionate about it, just knowing. I know it's like know your craft kind of thing, right? But there's so much truth in that. Like, just know the work and do the work well. Because at the end of the day, like, that's kind of what happened for me. I knew it so well. I can look at material and break down anything and just show up and be good. Yeah. And you've put in the hours, you've put in the time. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to say that, though, because I do think of actors, that are so successful and they don't. So it's like there's no advice. Yeah. Everybody's road is so different, That's true. Believe in yourself. Just go for it.
Does your husband also study a lot?
Yeah, he's a huge studier. I mean, yeah. Yeah. We both really sort of really believe in that. Yeah. Just knowing how to break down a script, knowing different methods, because sometimes one method won't work for you, so you're going to have to lean on another one. Yeah. Just understanding the work kind of thing.
What was one situation where you felt like you created an opportunity for yourself that wasn't there? Like, have you ever been in a room where you're like, you know, you did something in the audition, or maybe you sent an email to someone, or you maybe like somehow positioned yourself or like changed the course of a project by like creating an opportunity?
I don't know if it was helpful. I mean, like, I produced my own one-woman show, right?
Yeah.
And then I produced a web series, and then I produced a short film.
Yeah.
And then something happened during COVID where I started doing monologues on my Instagram. And I felt like that opened doors. Like,
Interesting.
because I don't know for a fact, but that's around the time when I started getting lots of opportunities.
Oh, wow.
And I started doing these monologues, and I was writing them. And myself.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then I was performing them online.
Yeah.
And something happened there.
Yeah. Well, I think probably people caught on and they were good. And then all of a sudden you were like being seen by more people.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
I think, yeah. Because I know people started reposting them, and then...
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I felt like I was like seen, like something happened in that. And I just think I was able to not be fearful of being that actor who's like, yeah, I'm going to do a monologue on Instagram. Like, who wants to do that? But
it's interesting. I feel like one of the things I've been saying a lot lately, because I really believe this, is when people say like that something's cringe, I'm like, that whoever thinks something's cringe is someone who's having a hard time with someone else putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
Cringe is putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, some people are a lot better at being on camera. Some people are more comfortable. Some people are less comfortable. Like, putting yourself out there is always vulnerable and is going to feel a little weird. Yeah. And then it depends on your personality, like how uncomfortable you look while you're doing it. For sure. But the reality is, like, it shouldn't really be cringe to anyone, because it's like, congrats, you put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
However you showed up, you showed up. Like, much better than not showing up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think I look at, you're right. That's why I no longer, I think there's this thing when you're new to LA and you're in your 20s and you kind of, I notice it because I see it in young actors that like judge other people, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't like that. Or, it's a lot of that. Like, oh, I didn't like that scene. Or, that wasn't good. And I stopped that a long time ago. Because the fact that people put themselves out there, there is such a, I really respect that.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to start looking at things like, wow, like maybe I should do that. Because a lot of times when people, you're like, oh, that's cringe, it's because you're fearful of putting yourself out there that way.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So I do love when people put themselves out there, whether it works or it doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Me too. I'm like, oh, go for it. And like, you know what? It's not going to work the first time. That's how it goes.
I think putting yourself out there is, I mean, a beauty in that, right? I think that we shouldn't judge when people, even if it feels quote unquote cringe to you, it's like the right person may like it. And I feel like I've seen that many times where I'll see someone and I'm like, oh, what are they doing? Like, why are they? Next thing I know, they're on a billboard or they're on a TV show or they're on a bus driving by. You can't judge what people are doing. I think we have to honor when people are just going for it. And that's what I try to do. I see someone doing something or trying something and I'm like, good for them.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that 100%.
For doing it.
And for putting yourself out there, and sometimes even putting yourself out there and being uncomfortable inspires a lot of people who are not very comfortable with themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, it's not everyone's born super confident.
No.
Not everyone's born being great at, but what's really interesting and funny about social media is that you can find your niche. Absolutely. You can be really weird and peculiar about something, or have like some sort of like or desire or thing that you're interested in that's so niche, and all of a sudden it's like hundreds of thousands of people who just love that. I have a friend of mine who's an actress. She's a great actress. She works a lot. But she like randomly did the voice of this video game thing. Okay. And that thing is like the most popular thing she's ever done. And she has fans from all over the world for this thing that to her is so foreign because she doesn't even play video games. But it's like, and she's been like the lead of like all, but like that's not where the like fandom is, you know? And it's just so funny, but it's true. There's so many niche markets for what people care about.
Like
and
at first, I feel like I have a similar thing where I was so not into the whole social media thing. And my husband and I did a random where we acted out how we met all the way up until now kind of thing. Or all the way up until we had kids. Only for TikTok. So like it was like a minute.
Wow.
It got 1 million views.
Wow.
I do not, like to me, I was like, like this is, but people just, like people came up to us. Yeah. We would be out at the Grove and people would be like, oh my God, I saw your video. And I'm like, all the things we have done, all the training we sort of, you know.
That's crazy.
And you are talking about this TikTok video. Like, it's just, that's how it works.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's inspiring me to open TikTok.
Yeah, it's about like finding your thing. You can do anything.
It's hard though to like just one more social media platform. I'm like,
oh, I know.
But there is pros to a lot of these things. I think a lot of it is also like controlling how much time you spend on all of it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's about posting and walking away.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta walk away,
not scrolling.
No, and not
just creating content and then just
walking away. Yeah.
Almost like this, right? Like you create it, you make it happen. I think you have to treat social media similarly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience? And also, obviously, please let everybody know where to find you.
Oh, yeah. On my Instagram is at Brandee Steger, Steger. Also on TikTok. I think it's funny because I don't even know. My husband does that. He's better at it. But I think it's at Brandee and Michael Steger for TikTok if you want to see that cool video.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, yeah.
And here's your book.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I look forward to reading it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love it.
Pass it forward.
Yeah,
I always tell people, I think it's the kind of book that's like, it's a fun book to read and then pass forward. Because there's always going to be someone in your life that you're like, ooh, they could really use this book.
Yeah, absolutely. There always is, especially as artists. There's always people who need to stay on a train.
Yeah. And to just be reminded to stay creative and to be inspired.
Yeah.
I think it's been a really hard time now this year.
I think so. I think, I mean, when you start seeing big time celebrities doing commercials, you're like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's showing.
Yeah.
Like the tier is coming down, right? It's like, oh, well, if they're doing that, then the series regular,
it's all kind of, I think the next 10 years, everything's going to change a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's going to be a lot about creating your own things.
Yep. Be the train.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. What a pleasure. Thank you.
For having me.
And congrats on everything.
Oh, thank you.